And we are live. You there, Luke?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. All
We
right,
are
guys, we are live. We are live, and the comments are already streaming in. Kudos to
waking
all the
up.
people in the US who are up at this ungodly hour. You guys are legends, and we hope that it is going to be worth your lack of sleep. No. We know it's going to be worth your lack of sleep, and we're going to enjoy the little hour with each other now. People are asking, let's see, where can you get it? Hi, I'm from the UK. Goodness gracious, the comments are streaming in. Let's see, where can you get it? Well, we're going to announce that in a little bit. Clint Strum, I know your name. I've seen you on Facebook. How you doing, buddy? We've got a few familiar names here. Welcome, guys. Las Vegas, that's pretty cool. Michael. So we're just going to give people a second or two. We said we're going to start at 2. You know how it goes, though. Well, 2, sorry. Just in case you're wondering. When I say 2, I mean 2 o'clock South African time. That's where I'm based. And that's one of the problems with a stream like this, right? We've kind of got people connecting in from all over the world. We got Shenzhen, we got Europe, we've got all the way down in deepest, darkest Africa here, and then of course we've got the USA. So it's a bit of a challenge to schedule a stream at a time that suits everyone. But I think, yeah, we'll try and make it a bit more convenient next time. And we've got Jonathan Levy with us from the land of hummus and high tech. Canada, very cool. France. East Coast USA. East Coast is not that bad. You guys are kind of decent times, yeah. I think the poor West Coast folks, they're the ones struggling right now. Portugal, welcome. Not bad for you guys either. Australia, welcome. I think you guys are on the same time zone as our friends in Shenzhen over there. So I tell you what, let's see, Kuwait, England, Romania, Norway. Got a little bit of Hebrew in the mix there, courtesy of Jonathan Levy. West Coast are grabbing a midnight snack, apparently. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm still sipping on a coffee here in South Africa, and it's 2 p.m. But that's kind of how you have to live when you're in product development. You survive on coffee. Switzerland, Doha. Goodness gracious, it's really cool. We have got such a mix of people here. Really stoked to see you all. So, guys, I'll tell you what. Let's give it until 5 past. Just give a couple of latecomers a chance to jump in, and then we'll get cracking. Luxembourg. The Germans are out in numbers today. Goodness gracious. What time is it over there? It must be lunchtime. That's it. Are you guys 2 hours behind me? What time is it over there in Germany? Neil van der Merwe, my fellow Safa, but you're in Doha. Germany's 1 p.m. Okay. I don't know. What time is your lunch? 1 p.m.? I'm trying to figure out why there's so many Germans here. Namibia. Oh, Jandre Groenewald. Gee, we got the guys from down south representing today. Very cool. All right, guys, one more minute, and then we're going to get started. It seems Israel is on the same time zone as as South Africa. You know how I know that? Back in the day when you had to select your time zone when you're installing like Windows 95, so I'm giving away my age here, the drop-down list to select time zones was really limited, and there was no like South Africa option, so we had to always select Israel. So yeah, you guys are in the same time zone as us. Yeah, Microsoft didn't realize South Africa existed back then. All right, guys. So, excuse me. We are 5 past, and my man went to Windows 95. Windows 95 was amazing. It was amazing. We had all those movie trailers. What was it? Rob Roy, and we had Weezer playing Buddy Holly. Man, that was the good old days in Carton 95. All right, 5 past, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. So, I'll tell you what. I am going to cut across and we can get started. So welcome, guys. Really, really stoked to have you here today. I hope that you're all getting a clean audio video feed. We've got me here in South Africa. We've got others in Shenzhen, and I hope it's all coming through cleanly for all of you. Just let us know in the comments if things start to cut out. And not that we can fix the fiber lines, but we'll see what we can do. Anyways, we are all here to speak about the Panda Touch, and we want to just let you know who we are. So, brief intro from myself. My name is Luke. I am an engineer working for BIGTREETECH. I have been into 3D printing in various different ways for many, many years, dating back to around, again, I'm going to give away my age here, 2007, 2008. And I started working for BIGTREETECH about just over a year ago. And for about 10 months, I've been just thinking of cool things that we can do with the bamboo machines. And probably about 7 months ago, just after Murph hit this epiphany moment, and the Panda Touch is kind of a result of that. So this product is close to my heart. I've been working on it with the team at BIGTREETECH for a while now. And yeah, I'm in their engineering team. Super stoked to be here with you all today. And why don't we hand over to Richard and Jane in the Shenzhen studio? They can introduce themselves.
Yeah, so hello guys, I am Richard. I am one of the product manager that is working in BIGTREETECH, and I have been working with the Panda Touch project for quite a while. And it's just really exciting here today to introduce the Panda Touch to you guys.
Hi guys, I'm Jay and work in social media marketing at BIGTREETECH. I'm so glad to be here and talk about Panda Touch. Hope you guys will enjoy our live stream. So back to Luke.
All right. So Jane, that is a super cool hairband, and I guess maybe if there's any ladies out there ordering Panda Touch, we'll have to see if we can like bundle something like that in. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. So let's talk about why we're here today. It's obviously for the Panda Touch. So I'm just going to give you a little brief intro. It is a wireless, dockable touchscreen for bamboo printers. So what do we mean when we say wireless and dockable? Well, we'll give you a whole lot more info later on in the stream, but wireless means you don't actually have to connect it to a data connection, wired data connection for it to communicate with your printers. That is wireless. Of course, you need to connect it to power, right? Dockable means that it magnetically attaches to a dock and you can remove it. Now, we've been posting a lot about the Panda Touch lately on social media, right? And there's just a bunch of questions that have been coming in. And we figured we've got to have a live stream, get everyone who's asking questions into the mix, and give you guys an opportunity to learn more about it and shoot questions off to us. It's the best way of learning about the product. And also in the stream today, we're going to be revealing the price. Obviously, we're going to be giving you purchase links, so that's coming. And we're going to have a bunch of giveaways. So there are quite a number of people who are going to be able to walk away from the stream today with a Panda Touch and pay the sum total of $0 USD for it. So stick around and we will explain those. We are going to have some live demonstrations of the Panda Touch, and we're going to have a Q&A session with Jonathan Levy, who's been using it for some time. And then we're going to have Q&A sessions with you guys. You guys can shoot questions off to us, to Jonathan. Basically, just let us know what you want to know, and we'll do our very best to answer them. Now, many of you, based on what I saw in the comments just now, are wondering about price and availability. And we're going to hand over to Rich. He's going to say a little bit more about that. He's also going to explain some of the giveaways that we're going to be having during the stream. So, Richard, buddy, over to you, man.
Yeah, so actually, before I reveal the final price, I will run you guys through a basic introduction to the product. But I will say that you can pick up the Panda Touch for just $29 as part of a promo special that we have for this live stream. So if you stick around, you should have that. And you will also be able to pick up a free textured PEI and PO plate as part of this launch special. So if you order over a certain amount, more details on that will be coming soon. And we will also be giving away some Panda Touch units during the stream, as well as some store coupons. So also stick around for that and pay attention to the info discussed during the stream to be able to enter and win. And in terms of availability, orders will be in just a few minutes, and they are first come, first served. So stay tuned for the links. And we will initially have the Panda Touch available through our direct website and through AliExpress. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm sure you all are keen to know a little more about the Panda Touch. So actually, let's get it back to Luke, and he has more details on how the product works.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Rich. So I want to explain to you a little bit more about the Panda Touch. I mean, we could just give you a purchase link, right? But would you really know exactly what you're purchasing? Yeah, not really. So let's do the detail thing first. We're going to explain to you how it works, what it can do. And at the end of that, we'll put you out of your misery and we'll put up some purchase links. And I'm going to do that now using this. So let's have a quick look. Introducing the Panda Touch. And here we're going to go through just step by step some of the great functionality that it has. So it is plug and play, guys. Bamboo have done a fantastic job of making machines that really are plug and play. And we don't want your experience with the Panda Touch to be any different to that. So you pretty much put the thing in place, stick the mount down, plug it into the USB socket, which exists on the P1, P, and S machines just behind the front panel. We'll show you that just now. You enter the Wi-Fi details, and the Panda Touch is going to scan the network and find your printers, and you're going to be able to add them up. It's really that simple. Of course, we wanted a user interface that's both familiar, but also is adapted to the additional functionality that the Panda Touch offers. So when you look at this UI, if you've ever used an X1C, you know, there's elements of it that will be very familiar to you. So it's going to feel quite native and easy to use, but you can't do that on an X1C. The Panda Touch connects to several printers, and we've added UI elements that allow you to group those printers, to select how they follow each other, how you interact with them as groups. And so that's what you're looking at there now. And then, of course, if you do just want to interact with an individual printer, well, you've got pretty convenient UI elements for you there now. Bear in mind, guys, as I'm talking, it's pretty difficult for me to watch comments as well, but there will be a session later where you can shoot your Q&A off. So feel free to shoot them off then. I can't guarantee I'm going to see them now. And going back to the presentation, of course, you've got fine-grained control on an individual printer basis here. So all your fans, your lights, pretty much everything that you can control through the X1C touch panel, you can control through the Panda Touch. Right, wireless and portable. So I mentioned a little bit earlier that it is this wireless, dockable little touch screen. And here we have it. It's a 2.4 gig Wi-Fi device, which you have to have if you're running a Bamboo machine anyways, because they kind of run on 2.4 gig. Integrated lithium polymer battery gives you 30 minutes of battery life after you remove it from that dock. And that dock you can see there in the bottom right corner. And it comes with a dock But let's say, for instance, that you do have several printers and you want to be able to just undock the Panda Touch, move it across to another one and dock it there. Well, we're going to be selling additional docks separately. So when you see this, it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with the dock. It does. You're going to be able to buy others separately if that's something that you want to do. Now, let's talk a little bit about something that really seemed to get people excited 2 days ago, and that is the AMS management functionality. So personally, I can say one of the probably most frustrating things about using a P-series printer, and there are very few because they're great printers, but one of the frustrating things is not being able to just pop a roll in the AMS or on the external spool slot and say, hey, this is PLA, it's this color, and hit OK, and know that that is synced through. And of course, with this, you can do it. It supports up to the maximum number of AMS units per P and X1 series printer, and that's 4, and so therefore 16 slots. And each slot allows you to fully configure what you'd be able to configure using the native X1 touchscreen. And as I mentioned, of course, the external spool holder in every printer too. Plug and print, right? So it's got this little USB port on the side of it, and you can pop a USB flash in there, and if you've got 3MF files on there, you'll be able to send them off to your printers, and a group of printers, one file, no problem. Obviously, just make sure it's sliced for those printers. You don't want to go be sending P1S files to an A1 Mini. That could be fun. But we're adding protection for that into a later firmware release. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. And you can print directly from the SD cache that is in the printer. So yeah, plug and print, and you can see the custom UI elements that we've had to design for that too. Let's say that you've kicked a print off, right? And you want to know how everything is doing. Well, there you have it. There's a nice UI that tells you the progress on each machine. It gives you high-level individual control with each machine. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, you can just tap a machine and it'll take you to that more fine-grained control screen. And just another point to bear in mind, 10 printers max per Panda Touch. That's just purely a limitation of the hardware involved. It takes a certain amount of resources to push that number up. And that's not saying that we'll never do that, but the Panda Touch, 10 printers, which is a lot of printers anyways, it is compatible not just with the P series, but with the X series and the A series. So that means every single printer Bamboo have released thus far, the Panda Touch will work with. Data security, there are people out there who do have concerns about data security, and they prefer to run their printers in LAN mode, and that's cool. If that's what you're into, then you will be pleased to know that the Panda Touch doesn't need an internet connection to run. It runs entirely on the LAN, and you can have your printers connected to the cloud or running in LAN-only mode. Panda Touch will still work. There will be functions coming in future firmware releases, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, that will enable additional functionality if you were prepared to allow your Panda Touch to reach the internet. But for now, everything we discussed today, the Panda Touch will do entirely in LAN mode. Now let's talk about those functions, right? Because I've been saying there's stuff coming. How are you going to enable that extra functionality? Well, updating is really, really simple. It's all done over the air. The Panda Touch hosts a little web server. You just visit that from a phone or a tablet or a PC. And it's really just a matter of drag and drop. And boom, Panda Touch is updated. What you buy today continues to grow in value as new firmware comes out for it. So what are you going to get in the box? Let's have a quick look. You get, of course, the Panda Touch itself. You get the mounting bracket. You get that little charging dock. You get the screws to attach it to the charging dock and a little tool to help you with that. The USB cable. And as they say, last but certainly not least, you get the little ducky, the BTT yellow ducky. So if this is your first introduction to BTT, there's a little yellow ducky with every one of our products. There is a really, really cool story behind that. Maybe we'll tell it one day, but it involves a CEO and him as a kid. It's not the time for it now. Let's move on. But yeah, we'll tell it one day. And here's what you've been waiting for, guys. The official website and AliExpress is where you can get it from. Here is the price breakdown. you're going to be able to pick up the first 15 units for $29.99. After that, $39. After that, $49. So if you're able to pick something up and you're in the first 200 buyers, you're going to be able to get this thing for under $50. And as Richard said earlier, you're going to be able to get a free PEI/PEO double-sided plate with texture if you pick it up on AliExpress and you spend more than $99. Specifically, that $99 has to be spent on Panda Touch products on the BIGTREETECH store. So what happens if you're over that 200 buyer limit? Oh, hearts are sinking. Panda Touch 99. No, Panda Touch is $59, guys. It's really reasonable. So $59 is what you're going to pay. MSRP. That's it. Yeah, it's a really cool price, and we are really stoked to be able to bring this to you at that price. So that is it. And guys, again, if you have been in 3D printing for a while, you'll know BTT. If you haven't, this is us. We're for makers and we're by makers. We are really all about making stuff that makes makers happy, and we are all makers. So you know, we enjoy it when we use the stuff we make, and we really enjoy it when we see people using the stuff that we make. But right now, we have a little giveaway, and to handle that, we're going to hand over to Jane. So Jane, go for it.
Okay, wow, this is amazing prize, isn't it? Super excited. Now get ready for an amazing giveaway. Yeah, giveaway time. And we are thrilled to share some fantastic prizes for you. And here are the rules. Comment your answers to the following questions for a chance to win a Panda Touch. And we will randomly select 2 winners in the right comment to take home a Panda Touch. Okay, listen, here is the question. Question 1, does the Panda Touch work with the X1, P1, and A1 series printers? Question 2, does the Panda Touch support completely wireless operation? Question 3, can you configure filament properties direct from the Panda Touch? And the last question, what is the lowest price that you will be able to pick up a Panda Touch for as part of this special launch event today? Are you ready for it? And start commenting now. And you need to comment all the answers at once. Don't forget it. Come on, you guys, so great. And I saw your attention. Yeah. Share all the answers in comment, please. Remember it. And let me check who will be our first lucky winner. Hurry up, time is limited. Remember to comment all the correct answers at once to qualify. Make sure your answers are all right. Okay. Okay, time's up. Let me see who is this. This is a lucky winner. Wow, Michael Larson, congratulations from Facebook. And Maxime Olivier, can you hear me? Are you still there? Congratulations. Well done, guys. Wow, congratulations. And you are so lucky to win a free Panda Touch. And if you are from Facebook, please send us a DM. And for YouTube winners, we'll be in touch. Congratulations, guys, again. And don't forget, we will have another giveaway later. And stay here and win more. Let's back to Luke.
Awesome, guys. Well done to the winners. Super stoked for you. You will have a Panda Touch out on the way to you very, very soon. I see there were some comments coming through saying sold out. I don't think they will be sold out yet. We did manufacture a whole heap of them, and just keep trying on that link, guys. It's probably just cached on your side and hasn't activated yet because we just hit activate. Keep trying. and let us know if you snag one in the comments. So paper specs are fun, right? All good. But what really matters is seeing the thing in action. So let's do that. We're going to have a look at the Panda Touch. And what I'm going to do is just cut across to my overhead camera so that I can show you from above the Panda Touch. And I'll tell you what, let's zoom in here and have a closer look at what we're working with. So here is what you're going to find in the box. And if you're watching the slideshow, you'll know that that is the magnetic dock. You'll know that that is the Panda Touch. And this, if we pop this open, have a look what we got inside, without me losing everything. We've got some screws. We've got an Allen key, as we call it in South Africa. I think guys from the States will probably call it like a hex wrench or something. And we got our USB cable. Cool. So immediately you can see it's actually pretty simple to use and install. Not much going on here, which is really what you want. You don't want to be having a whole lot of stuff that you have to put together. So I'll tell you what, let's just have a look at what we have going on here. It's the USB port on the side. On the back over here, we can see the contacts where power is transferred when you're docked it, and some magnets to hold it in place. The power switch, that's got 3 settings, right? So you've got off battery power and run directly off USB. If you're running directly off USB, then when you pull it off the dock, it's going to turn off because it's not running off battery. But if you pop it onto battery, it will keep charging through USB. And when you pull it off the dock, it'll run off battery. And then there's this little mystery port over here, right? So that, if I don't know if you can see it, the camera will auto zoom, but I'll definitely give it a try. It says I2C, and you can see a little thermometer and a drop. So let your imaginations run wild as to what that's going to be used for. As you can see in the box, there's nothing there yet, but I'm sure you guys will figure it out. So that's the Panda Touch unit itself. The magnetic dock, of course, you've got the contacts. They're going to send that power through to the Panda Touch, and you flip it across. And then you've got your USB port that you're going to plug it into. And of course, like I said, we've got the USB cable, and we have the mount over here, and that would simply just connect to the dock like so. And you can see it just kind of goes right in the back there. And you use those 2 screws to just fix the 2 together over there. Really, really, really simple. So I'll tell you what, should we turn this thing on and have a bit of a look at how it all works? So maybe first let's install it. I think that's probably a better idea. So I'll tell you what, let's go back to the main cam, and we're going to go across to this wonderful pink P1S that I have over here. If you're asking why it's pink, there's also a story behind that. And it involves the boss's wife. No, she's really keen to get a lot of women into 3D printing, and because she's into 3D printing, obviously. And yeah, she decided that it would be pretty cool to be able to skin the bamboo machines with different colors. And so pink is one of those colors. Right. I am just, by the way, let me put it in the frame so you can see what I'm doing. I am just putting the screws into the mount over here. So it's just these 2 screws, pretty simple thing. Pop them in, and then you're good to go. I say pretty simple thing, and then I struggle to put a screw in. Give me a sec, guys. I just need to align this up here. I put 1 in, and I tightened it too much, and now I can't align the 2nd screw. There we go. All right, 2nd screw. Let's pop that in. There we go. Right, so there we go. That's okay. Obviously, I haven't removed the adhesive strip there. If I were, it would stick it down permanently. But there you go. That's how you kind of pop it in place there. And let's get the Panda Touch on. Boom. There you go. And how about power? Well, I mentioned that we've got that USB port in the P1 series, right? So if you don't know that, just behind the front panel here, I'll feel it. There it is there with my hand. There is a USB port. So what we'll do is we'll just feed this up through the hole that we have over here. And I'll just drop that there for now. And now I'm going to have to do just the traditional three-way dance with a USB plug where I'm going to plug it in one way, it's going to refuse, and then I'm going to flip it, and it's going to refuse, and then I'm going to plug it back in the first way. Oh, it went in first time, guys. Amazing. Right, so we got the USB in, and now we're just going to basically pop this into the back here. And guys, the installation is done. It is literally that easy. And like I said, I just haven't removed the adhesive strip from mine. So should we turn it on? Let's do that and have a look. Boom, on. Great. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is already set up on my network. So I'm going to do two things. I hope you don't get motion sick, because I'm going to move you across to a portable camera that you can see things better with. However, I will be holding it by hand. And yeah, I've just had a coffee. So please excuse my shakiness. But let's see if I go close in there. Right, so you can see the two printers that I have in here. I got a P1S and I got an X1C. But let's just reset to factory settings, right? Because I want to show you how to set this thing up. Cool. So there we are. And nice little welcome screen. You can scan the barcode if you want to get to the manual page to find out how to do things. But you can just do a little refresh here, and it'll give you your Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to pop into my Wi-Fi network. And as you may imagine, I'm now just going to show you a wonderful frame of the inside of the P1S while I enter my password. One sec, please. And it's connecting, and we hit next. And now we get a menu where I get to either manually enter the printer details, or I can just hit scan. So let's do that. Remember, I have two Bamboo machines in here with me. So if we are not cursed by the demo gods, then we should get two machines. Wonderful. So there's the X1, and I'm just going to tap on that guy over there. Little message just pops up asking us, look, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I'm sure. Let's hit confirm. And the only thing that we have to enter, which it doesn't have access to, is our access code. So I'm going to put this down again, because I don't want you guys jumping into my printer from wherever you are. I saw one guy from Antarctica earlier. That was interesting. And I'm going to get my access code and type that in. So here we are. See, I'm one of those guys that kind of whispers what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so I hope I didn't actually whisper my access code to you. But I've typed it in now, and I'm going to just say confirm, and boom, we are connected, guys. Now, let's go back and say we want to add the P1S, right? So we're just going to hit scan again. There it is. But interestingly enough, the X1C still appears when you scan, because, I mean, it's still there. It's on the network. But if we try and re-add it, it's just going to tell us, hey, guys, you've already got it. So you can't have the same printer twice. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll now add the P1S. Let's confirm. And again, we just need that access code. So let's have another little shot of the old pink printer while I do that. And let's just quickly punch this in. You guys are probably watching me as I type, aren't you? Cool, confirm. And there we have it. Both printers added. So that's straight from factory reset, right? I don't know how long that took us, probably just like 5 or 6 minutes. But we went from nothing to fully installed, and both printers appearing over there. It is literally that simple. You want to select a printer, you can just pop over to the UI. There you go. You want fine grain control. There you go. You want to go and check the filament menu. Okay, so this is for the X1C. I currently don't have that AMS connected, and so the graphic indicates that it's just for the external spool holder that I can edit, but I can just select any given filament there. If I wanted to do that with the P1S, I could just make it the master. And let's confirm that. Right, and we go back in. Now we're talking to the P1S. And when I go and check out our filament details, I have the entire AMS available to me. So yeah, there you have it. That is how some of the simple functionality works. Let's see some cool stuff. Let's set the X1C as the master, and we will set the P1S as a slave. And then let's go back home, and we'll now control, this is not communicating with the X1C, right? And we're going to turn the light off, and let's see what happens in the P1S. All right, so I've actually sent the command to the X1C, but because I've set the P1S to be a slave of the X1C, it follows everything that the X1C does. So that's how that sort of master-slave grouping works, and you can also have machines just running independently by themselves too. All right, so that is a little demo of how it all works. And let me go back to the main cam now. Ooh, well, the main cam is still over there. So I'll tell you what, let's go back to the full shot. Welcome. So it's a simple thing to install. It's a simple thing to set up. And you've seen how it's also pretty intuitive and easy to use. Pair multiple printers. What we want to do is also just explain a little bit about that firmware update process, right? So we said that there is stuff that's coming in the future. We have got a pretty major roadmap ahead for the Panda Touch, that it sits at the center of an entire ecosystem of products. And those products are going to enable things on Bamboo machines that people have been begging for, but so far nothing has been able to do that. I cannot tell you exactly what that is, but there is some pretty cool stuff coming. And to enable that stuff, there will be some extra hardware in some cases involved, but a lot of the stuff is just really going to be via firmware updates. And so I want to just demonstrate how to do a firmware update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across to the Panda Touch again. We'll use that shaky cam portable camera. And then I'm going to go across to a desktop web page on my machine over here. Let's go across the Panda Touch first, though. Okay, so we go into the settings menu, and here we will see a firmware option. And when we tap that, before I do, I don't know if it's blurry or you can see it, but basically that's telling us it's V1. If I tap it, it'll say, look, just scan the code to view the firmware release history and instructions on how to update the firmware. You just scan that code and off you go to the website and you'll be able to download the latest firmware for it. It's really, really simple. All right, so with that in mind, let's just show you how that process would work. Is it rocket science or is it simple? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go across to a desktop that I have ready set up. It's communicating with that Panda Touch that we've just set up. Here we go. And this is what you're going to see when you log in. Not when you log in, there is no login, just when you connect to the Panda Touch on the local network. And it's going to tell you what networks it can see. And then you've got this update firmware button. If you click over there, you simply choose the firmware that you want, select it, and down it goes. And the firmware update process begins. It's going to send that off to the Panda Touch. The Panda Touch is going to install it. And once it's done, it'll do a little bit of a reboot, and you will have a whole bunch of new functionality available. And there you have it. Right, so I mentioned I can't say exactly what's coming in the roadmap. There's a lot of stuff. But what I can say is we have a great new way of grouping printers. Currently, there's only one group that is available on the Panda Touch. So one printer can be the master, others can be slaves, and others can just be independent machines. In a future firmware release, the very next one, we're going to have multiple groups. So perhaps you want to group all your P1Ss, and perhaps you want to group all your P1Ps, and maybe you want to group all your A1s and your X1s. We will be able to do that, and you'll be able to assign a master within each one of those groups. So that's a cool new feature that we'll be releasing very, very soon. Right, so let's see what else we have to chat about in the demo. I've shown you kind of how you can get two machines in there, right? And I've shown you, I can turn lights on and off, and that's all good and well. But you saw that entire rack of machines behind Richard earlier. So let's cut across to him and see what he can do with the Panda Touch and that whole rack of machines. Richard, over to you, buddy.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Luke. So, right here we have an array of different Bamboo printers. We have an P1P on the corner up there, and then we have a bunch of P1S. We have X1C. We have A1 Mini. We have A1. Basically, we have all the printers from Bamboo. And so here you can see a close-up of the Panda Touch, and you know, you can turn the lights on and off and on and off. You know, but what I really think is, you know, it's cool every time I see it. So you go to home, all right, you hit home, and all of them homes. I know it's nothing big, but it's just fun to watch. Yeah, so now all of them are going up and down, homing, and you can see that it connects to all of the Bamboo machines that is available to date. Yeah, and also, if you look at here on this file section, I can actually send, so right here I have a sliced file for P1 series and X1 series, which shares the same file format. And then I also have one slice for A1 Mini and A1. But right now I'm going to send print from this Panda Touch, which all the files is on the SD card right now. So it's in a USB adapter thing that goes into the Panda Touch. And I can select this file. So this file is actually sliced for all of the P1S and X1C. So right now you can see this is a list of printers that we have connected, which is like all of these. And at the end of it, we have the A1 and A1 Mini. So I'm just going to deselect them because the slice file doesn't actually work on those. You have to, you know, use the correct file for each printer. So right now that's deselected. So now all the machine that's being selected is all the P1 X1 series. So I hit print, and it will pop up a warning about whether you have the correct file format sliced for each machine. So you just go print, and you can see it's got a list of machines that is uploading the printed file to. Okay, so now all of them is uploaded. You can see some of them is starting to home. Yeah, so some of them is starting to move, and this is going to take not too long, but it's like a little square chip that I'm printing just for demonstration purpose. But we'll hand it back to Jane for the next section. Actually, no. Next section is for our very special guest, Jonathan Levy from the Next Layer. So we actually bumped into him back in SMRF. And well, welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
How are you doing?
And I'm great. And I just want to clear the air real quick because I've been in chat while you guys have been doing all the hard work. Guys, I saw that there's like some issues with stuff adding the cart. I don't work for BIGTREETECH, but these guys have been working on doing the live stream, and I don't think they see your comments. Am I right? And
I have been following along. I see some guys are struggling to add to cart.
yeah, there's been some issues.
I don't know
with, like, people
what
adding to cart, and then it sold out while it was in the cart. So I don't know if you want to address that before we go in. It's just I felt like everyone was chatting and you guys were busy presenting. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to respond to all that.
Yeah. I'm also seeing some guys. You're getting a little bit upset in the comments. Guys, be cool. It's a touch screen for a 3D printer. Like, whoosah. Relax.
Yeah.
We'll get that website up and running. Let's have a good
people
time
jump to
together today.
conclusions real quick, and you guys have never been anything but awesome from my experience, or I wouldn't be here. So,
All right.
anyway,
Anyways, okay,
I
back
didn't
to the
want people
point.
to think you were ignoring them, because I've done live streams and I've seen the chat goes and people move on, and then they think you're, Anyway,
we're not ignoring them.
let's talk
We've
about
got a
this
whole
awesome
section for Q&A, and we're going to interact directly with the peeps just in a minute or two from now. Let's get there, but first we want to chat to you.
Yeah. So first off, thank you guys. I only had to fly all the way to China to get the first one of these, and I actually stole it off your table with permission from Smurf, and I've just been enjoying it. So thank you guys for letting me be the first one to play around with it.
Yeah, it's actually great to have you join us today. Yeah, so like you said, we ran into you at SMRF, and you walked away with one of our first Panda Touch unit that is ever in existence, and the firmware that it had back then was bare bones. I mean, it works, but it wasn't as polished as it could be right now. So right now it has far more functionality now, and but also, before we chat about the Panda Touch, let's just chat about the stock screen on the P1 and P1S. So how much did you actually use it?
Yeah, you guys probably saw in my review. I mean, I didn't want to bash it because I know, Bamboo Lab has to save money somewhere if they want to put out a really low-cost printer. People have said, I don't know if I agree, that even a click wheel like on the Prusa would be better. I mean, you can get the basic functions done, but to me, where they really messed up is they sell the P1P and P1S with the AMS, but you can't actually do anything like change colors of the AMS, or, I mean, unless you only buy bamboo filament and then it automatically reads the colors and everything. Even when so imagine like you take a filament, you load it into the AMS on your P1P or P1S, and then you have to either pull out your phone or go to your computer to tell the printer what filament you just loaded, unless it's one with the RFID spools. So that was the biggest frustration for me. I can print the last print from my cache. That's fine. But that was the biggest frustration, is like, how are you going to sell? I feel like if you're going to sell the P1S with the AMS, a lot of acronyms, then you should at least have a way to manage the filament in the AMS from that little car fob screen. That was my biggest frustration, and you guys have solved that.
Yeah, so like you said, we actually don't, well, I don't want to say don't, but we hardly actually use the little screen on our P1S, P1S, and P1P as well, because, I mean, it's much easier to just use the slicer or Bamboo Handy, but, right. it's a chore to go from your printer to your computer and then do stuff and then come back. So yeah, so we sent you the latest firmware yesterday, and you've had some time to play with it. What are your impressions for the all new Panda Touch that you have, the latest firmware now?
Yeah, so I will admit I left it. It stays here at the office at all times, so I didn't get a lot of time to play with it at home or anything like that. But I've been really enjoying it. First off, I love that you guys let me customize like all the names and everything, because I have obviously a lot of printers, and I've been having fun with that. I don't know if people can see during your, I mean, it's not gonna be super helpful, but you guys haven't like done any live prints yet. But I love that I can at a glance, like you'll notice I didn't dock mine, right? Like I actually just keep the dock here because I don't want it. I mean, I could print a little stand for it. But for me, I take it around, and the main thing I use it for is not as much starting prints. Like you said, I do that right in the slicer. For me, like, because my printers are all the way over there and I have a glass door between them, I don't hear when my printers are done. So if I want to get like max output, I just take this around wherever if I'm like working on one of the Vorons or I'm filming, I can just drop it down here, and it's at an eye's glance, and I know like in 5 minutes the Panther is done. In 2 hours, Bobcat is done. And I've got a dashboard basically for my printers, which you can't even get in Bamboo Studio. Even in the smartphone app, if you open it up, you still have to like first keep your phone open all the time. But then you only see one printer's status update at a time. So for me, that's like pretty game changing. just to have like a quick dashboard where I can see all my printers and how far along the prints are.
Yeah, so well, I guess I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed using it for all those functions that you just described for your use case.
So Jonathan,
how
maybe
many-
I want to shoot a question in if you don't mind, Rich.
Yeah, sure.
So I also want to say, buddy, there is a reason when I did this demonstration that I did not stick it down, because I, like you, just dig kind of carrying it around and working with it on the go. Of course, yeah, it's dockable, right? So I could stick the mount down and then just undock the Panda Touch. But I kind of like that dock, being able to plug it in anywhere. We did say that I haven't been looking at comments, but while you were speaking to Rich, I did glance at a few. There is a bit of a discussion about the USB data connection. No, it doesn't need data over that USB connection. That's entirely for power within the P1 series machines. In fact, with any machine, whatever you plug into that USB connection, that's just to juice it up. So the communication is entirely over Wi-Fi with any of the printers that it's programmed into. I ordered a duck with a free screen. I mean, that's really how it goes. So yeah, the comments are coming through. We will get to that Q&A a little bit later. Jonathan, how many machines do you have? You mentioned that you've got a bunch of machines.
Here I've got an X1 Carbon that's currently waiting for replacement parts, which half my printers always are. I've got two A1 minis, and I've got the P1S here, and then I've got an X1 Carbon at home. And I have all those linked up.
Okay, well, 4 there, right?
4 here, yeah.
And how was the whole process in getting them all linked up for you?
Super fast. There was one thing I mentioned to you guys in our little chat, that it scanned and found 3 printers right away. And then I think maybe because I have 2 A1 minis, or maybe because, now that I think of it, the one that it didn't pick up, like it picked up 3 out of 4 printers. The one that it didn't pick up is a pre-production unit. It's the clear one that might have some weird stuff. But then I just entered in the IP manually, entered in the access code, and it added it anyway. Interestingly enough, on that one, it didn't show the user interface is different. It doesn't show the IP on the same screen. So now that I'm saying it, I think that unit, maybe the firmware isn't updated, or maybe it's got something on it.
That'll be some sort of pre-production firmware that's running on it.
But everything else, I mean, we've super fast.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we could see when we were doing that demo live there, you just do a simple scan and it should find them. Look, from time to time, it's possible it may not find one of your printers during the automatic scan. And that's because basically the way it's working is the printers are kind of setting out these pings and they're going, hey, I'm here. And we don't want to like camp on the network for like a minute while the user waits, going, hey, any printers out there? So we limit that to like 20 seconds. And if a printer doesn't send out a ping in that 20 seconds, you just hit scan again, and then you're going to find it.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, you can always just manually enter the details if you want, but I'm lazy and I don't do that like you. I much prefer the scan option. So now, obviously, you took that one off our table at Smurf. And
with permission. With permission, okay. It wasn't an outright theft. We did say, all right, walk away with this and we'll turn a blind eye. But of course that had super alpha firmware on it. It was pretty early days still back then. And I still thought it was really good. I mean, I mentioned in my video like that in order for this to be really a full recommendation from me, it would have to have the AMS stuff, but I still thought it was really, really good, even with the alpha. So I didn't like all the diagnostics that it was running on the top of the screen, but other than that, it was great.
Well, I mean, you gotta have those diagnostics when you're in development, right? Yeah. And that was very much a development branch of firmware. But then we sent you the latest production firmware, and you installed that. How was that process for you?
Super fast and easy. On the alpha firmware, it was a little slow uploading the file, but honestly, I wish that, I'm going to sound like a total shill here, but I'm just being honest. I wish that updating the firmware on my printers was that easy, because it just has the little web server. If you can drag and drop a file, it just updates super, super fast and easy. So yeah. So look, I mean, prints just
I know what your prints is done.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? You've just reminded me. I didn't even mention Notification Center.
Yes.
Guys, I
Yes.
am an idiot. All right, so there is Notification Center, which is an entire thing that we've built into Panda Touch, right? So if something happens on one of your printers, you want to know about it. And so what happens is you get a little red dot that appears. If it's not absolutely critical, it just appears as a red dot. But if it's completely critical, it actually pops up on the screen and you have to
Yeah,
take
I
action.
can actually take this, and you get what I like on the new firmware, by the way, is sometimes like out of the corner of your eye, you're not paying attention. You get this bright green button. Come on, focus, camera. You get this bright green button that says finished. So if you're not really paying attention, it's like, oh, my print's finished.
Yeah. And if you want Notification Center, right? So something's gone wrong. I don't know, spaghetti detection failure or something, one of the machines. You just drag down from the top and there's your Notification Center. And any machines that you have programmed into the Panda Touch and any issues that they have are going to pop up in Notification Center. And you just tap on that notification and it's going to take you to that machine where you can get more details and figure out what you need to do. There will also be a QR code that takes you directly to the Bamboo Wiki for its HMS system, where there in the Bamboo Wiki, you can investigate a little bit deeper as to what happened. But yeah, Notification Center, super convenient little feature for even single printer control, but definitely for multi-printer control. Notification Center, there you go. Sorry, I just completely forgot to say that. Getting all excited.
Super great. Now I have a question. The finished thing, am I supposed to click that as a button, or is it kind of like a reminder for me that I still need to clear the print bed kind of thing?
So what that will do is it's kind of, if you tap that, it's just going to dismiss that printer from the queue, right? Like it's like, okay, that printer is now done. And any other printers that remain will sort of shift up so you can watch their progress. So as things finished, you're only left with what's still busy in the queue.
Got it.
And then yeah, if there's only one left in the queue, it'll actually just take you through to that.
Got it.
Sort of the control scheme for that printer.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we're interested in getting some feedback from you.
Yeah.
You know, like you said earlier, let's face it, the X1, P1, and A1 machines are really good machines. They really are. Yeah. And, you know, you'd be found wanting if you were sort of like someone put a gun to you and were like, tell me what we could do better. But there are a couple of things. There's always things that you could do a little bit better. So what would you say is something that you'd like to see in the P1, A1, and X1 series of machines?
Well, I saw this in the chat and I felt the same way because of the way I'm using it. And I honestly, I mean, some people will use it not to have to use that main touch screen. That's great. But I think if you only use it to like load filament and start prints and stuff, you're missing out on the real, in my opinion. Again, many people have one printer and it sits literally right next to them on their desk. Fine. But I think the real magic of the product, as I understood, and the reason I begged you guys to send it to me first, is the fact that basically you've created a remote dashboard for the printer. So because I'm using it that way, I would love to have a live camera feed on all my printers. You know, on my X1s, fine, I have the spaghetti failure detection. I don't really watch them. I don't really care. But on my P1, literally just before we started streaming, something detached from the build plate. I'm printing ASA and it doesn't stick nicely. And, you know, I had no idea. And I'm like sitting here kind of like, oh, great. My print's going to be done in 10 minutes. And then I go in there and it's like, oh, just spaghetti pile. So if I could get, even if it were like, you know, refreshed every second kind of thing, doesn't need to be 30 frames per second, but refreshed every second, like snapshot of the cameras, just because I have this dashboard, right? Like, why not? Basically, why not get rid of these static pictures that I have of the printers and just put in a live feed? That would be awesome.
That is a really, really, really cool idea. I cannot promise you anything, but
that camera feed is, I think, locked down probably pretty tightly. Maybe, I don't know.
That should definitely
let's not say too much, Rich.
All right. Well, I'll say, because I don't work for BTT.
Well, we'll consider it.
I've played around with trying to do some stuff with my smart home solution and my X1. And the only thing that I couldn't get to work was the camera feed. My personal experience. But I'm not a company with a development budget and engineers and software developers. So yeah.
All right, yeah. So look, like I said, the Panda Touch is the start of a broad ecosystem of products that we believe are going to increase the appeal of the Bamboo products that are already great products. But you know, makers love to augment things. It's just kind of in our DNA. And when the products are available to do that, then it makes people happy. It increases the appeal of the core product. So that whole ecosystem, you know, keep an eye out. There are going to be some pretty cool things coming in the future. So all things considered, Jonathan, would you say that this is a worthwhile upgrade to a Bamboo machine?
I mean, so as I said before, I recommended it when I thought you guys had originally said under $100, so I figured $89 when we spoke, when I, you know, in China, when I saw the pre-production, and I recommended it at $89. So at 59 for me, it's a slam dunk. I don't have any cons of the product. Like I said, the only con is using a lot of real estate on static images of the printers. But no, for me, it's a slam dunk. And I even said, again, people are going to think I'm a shill, but I even said for people who are not all day printing out, you know, carbon composite filaments, I recommend saving the $400 on the X1 carbon and just getting the P1S, which frankly, I use lots more than my X1 carbon, and then just get this. And then you still have, I mean, you could, if you want, get hardened nozzles, hardened extruder gears. You still save $300 over getting the X1 carbon. All you're missing is the AI spaghetti detection and the LiDAR, which frankly, like, I won't say it doesn't do anything, but I will say that my P1S print, or my P1S prints just as well. Best first layers ever without LiDAR. So I think the LiDAR is not necessary. You could save $300, and that's more than halfway to getting another P1S. So, I mean, like, if I'm making the recommendation, get 1.5 P1Ss or get 2 P1Ss and then have them on one unified dashboard. It's a slam dunk. And again, if people think I'm like shilling, I'll say the reason I'm here is because I saw this product when it was still in development, when all the plastic and everything was still like hand soldered together and 3D printed part. Like, I saw this in September, so you can imagine. And I was like, oh, so on board. Like, please let me be the first one to do a video about this. Like, this is dope. And I've been going back and forth with the BIGTREETECH team on different firmwares and stuff. So yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We are very stoked to hear that. And it's just something that's cool to hear when you pump a ton of effort into something and then you see people enjoying it. Yep. All right. So while we're here, before we let you go, what we want to do is now actually have a Q&A session, because we've been seeing questions pop up in the chat a whole lot. It's just super difficult to answer them while we're chatting and whatnot. So guys, now's your chance. Direct questions to either BTT, or you can direct them to Jonathan about his experiences, but let's give you a couple minutes now to get some questions off. If we don't know the answers, then we'll go back, do a bit of research, and maybe we'll take note of your names and send you a DM or post on social media, try to give you the answer, but hopefully we'll know the answers. So go for it, guys. Send us your questions.
David asks, if you have multi-item print per bed and one fails, if you skip over object, does it affect other printers? So I'm going to rephrase that.
Currently, we don't have skip over object implemented in the Panda Touch. Like I mentioned earlier, there is some functionality that will need an internet connection. So watch that space. We wanted to release a product that would run entirely on the local LAN, but we will enhance that functionality later if the user is willing to allow it to connect to the internet, because it does have to go via a cloud interface. But the logical implementation for that would be to skip over only that product on the printer that you are selecting, because it's obviously only failed on that printer. Unless it's some sort of a systemic issue with the sliced file, it's only failed on that printer. And so that's probably how we would implement it.
I'm seeing
All
so
right,
many
let's
questions.
see.
Which one you want to take? Which ones?
Okay, BIGTREETECH, how about a better 108P Wi-Fi camera for the P1? Okay, buddy, I'm just going to say watch the space, and we're going to move on to another question. So, why the magnetic mount over a slide mount? Okay, Ryan, I'm going to go across here, right? And I want you to tell me what could possibly be more satisfying than this. Come on, man.
So satisfying.
If that doesn't answer the question about magnetic mount, I don't know what will. It is such a satisfying click. Is the screen as fast as an X1 screen? Well, my X1 screen has remained fixed to my printer since the day I bought it, so I've never really seen it move anywhere. It's probably the same. Terrible dad joke. Yes, it's just as fast. It's just as fast. You will notice, as someone aptly pointed out during the demonstration earlier with Richard, that there is a touch of lag when you are scrolling through a whole list of printers. Guys, to bring you a product at $59, we have to meet a certain price performance ratio. And for $59, we had to put a processor in there that is able to do everything that this can do. But it's when you're scrolling through a whole ton of printers, it's not going to do it at 60 frames a second. So yeah, it's got just a touch of scroll lag in some instances, but overall user experience, it doesn't affect you at all. In terms of communication with the printers, it's instant. It's instant. I mean, I'll show you now. Let's turn a light off. We're going to communicate with the P1S that I have over here. And we are going to hit the light off, and we're going to hit it back on. Did you see a lag? I'm sure you can see that light coming on and off over there. It's instant. It's instant. So yeah, in terms of the way that it responds and communicates with the printers, it's absolutely instant. I hope that answers your question. Can it run Crisis? I'll tell you what, it can run Crisis. There's a trick to getting it right, though. What you need to do is take it apart, remove the RGB screen, throw away the logic board, plug the RGB screen into your computer with a GTX 4090, and you're set. Next up, can you power the Panda from a USB powered plug? Yes, you can. You don't have to power it from the P1S. You can power it from a USB plug, no problem. Jonathan, what's that?
I see a lot of different questions about how it connects, and some concern of like, could Bamboo lock this thing down? I don't know if you want to address that. That's speculative.
Fair
questions.
I have
thoughts on it because I know, yeah, I know a little bit about how this works, but I don't know if you want to address that.
Yeah. So it connects using a communication protocol known as MQTT, right? And the way that MQTT works is machines on a network, sort of one of them acts as almost like a post office, and it receives messages, hangs on to them until there are people who want to receive those messages. So each machine is kind of like its own little post office with devices connecting to it. And when the device connects to it, then it sends messages back to the device, and that device can also send messages to the machine. Now, MQTT is what Bamboo use to communicate with Bamboo Studio as a slicer. So basically, yeah, Bamboo are using this communication protocol for kind of a mission critical function with their products between slicer and machine. So yeah, it's not very likely that Bamboo are going to do anything because it would affect the functioning of their slicer.
Right. And when I talked to Dr. Tao, I mean, they seem to be enthusiastic about people upgrading their printers. His quote was, "People only upgrade products that they love. Why would we stop that?" But also, they actually, I mean, for the smart home geeks out there who want to, connect their, and I've done this, but then it all broke for me. because I am not you guys, but like you can connect your Bamboo printers to the lights in your house and change the colors in a room if you have like a print failure, for example, or like you can have your smart home speaker announce when your prints are done. And Bamboo, the reason that they're using, I think they didn't confirm this to me, but the reason they're using MQTT is because they want your Bamboo printer to be like any other smart home device, like your Bosch smart dishwasher or your LG smart air conditioner, your Bamboo Lab smart printer. There's a reason they use that protocol and they didn't encrypt any of that data. It's because they want you to be able to connect your Philips Hue lights so that, you know, when your print is done, the lights flash or whatever.
Or they go deep red when your print fails.
Right, exactly. And this is basically what you've done is built a smart home device that connects with that. So
correct. And Dr. Tao, there was his latest blog post, right, where he was talking about to root or not to root. And in there he said, look, guys, we're all game for aftermarket parts. In fact, we're releasing an API soon. So Bamboo are a reasonable guys.
They get it.
And
they definitely get it.
And they know that makers love to augment things. So they're embracing it instead of rejecting it. As long as, of course, the accessory that's being made results in a user experience that is of benefit to the users of their products. And I think that's something we've had in mind since the start of this product. We wanted to just really help users of their products to have a great time. And I'm pretty sure Bamboo are going to be absolutely all for that.
Yep.
All right. So charging, explain charging, please. All right, we can do that. So USB cable, right? That can plug into the USB port within the P1S or P1P. And as soon as this fantastically satisfying click happens, it begins to charge. You don't have to plug that into the USB port on the P1S or P1P. You can plug it into any USB charger that you have. It's just convenient to plug into the one on the P1S or P1P. It charges as long as it's on the dock. If you pop it off the dock, you get about 30 minutes of wireless use before the battery will run out. But you can get additional docks that will be on sale, and you can put a dock on, one every 2 or 3 printers, so you can just dock it wherever you want to dock it. But yeah, that's how the charging works. Pop it onto the dock, it begins charging. Let's see. Any plans on making a similar product for a detachable powered screen for clipper printers?
Damn, that's actually a really good idea.
Yes, I can say absolutely.
That's a really good
not
idea.
Just plans. Not just plans.
That's a really good idea.
All
also,
right. But let's keep this. Bamboo, sorry, you go, John. So you're saying also?
Oh, I was saying also interesting. I mean, if you have the 2 products, this goes against your interest to sell more of them. But if you have the 2 products, if you could have a firmware that accesses both, that becomes a game changer. Like, you know how I have this little menu here where I can
Jonathan, stop giving away all of our secrets.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
All right, you landed on that one as pure potluck, but there it is, cat's out the bag. So next up, can we tell this guy how many X1Cs we can connect to? Yeah, 10 printers, guys. Doesn't matter if it's an X1C, A1, A1 Mini, whatever. X1E, 10 printers max. Let's see what else we got. Will you implement something like spaghetti detection for P1S? Never say never, guys. Like I said, Panda Touch is the center of a much larger ecosystem that's coming. And we got some cool stuff on the way. Can't reveal too much about what's on the way. Let's see. Will AMS functionality be available at release? Guys, what I'm running here is version 1 firmware. This is what is programmed onto units that are at the factory right now. And if I tap on there and tap on there, what do you see? Probably nothing because it's too far away. So let me do this for you. But That, dear friends, is AMS. So yeah, to answer your question, it is going to be available from the get-go.
A ton of people are asking about potential upgrades in the future where you can change UI colors.
Where you can change UI colors. I mean, actually, you know what, guys? That is not something that we had considered, if I'm going to be entirely honest with you. But heck, why not? Why not? So Rowan, okay, a little bit. Guys, I'm speaking to BTT employees here, even though you're all watching. Rowan is one of our product managers. Rowan, if you're watching, and I'm sure you are, ability to change UI colors, all right? Let's think about that one. See if we can get that in there. All right.
So
Will we do another discount?
Briefly, just to briefly interrupt you guys, I just see that all the prints are finished, so I'm just gonna take them down and show it to you guys.
Lots of folks also want to know.
While you're busy, what is the end price for the Panda Touch after this first day sale? Is it just 59 or more? I tell you what, man, I will package up my personal unit, send it to you for the low price of $5.99. Just for you, bro. No, 59 bucks. 59 bucks. That's it. It's really well priced.
So this was all the stuff that was printed. It was just a simple square that I sliced just for demonstration purpose, but it was all from one click, which is fun, I guess.
Folks want to know about Panda Revo. I don't know if you guys are going to do a separate live stream about that.
You know what? I think we should do a separate live stream for that. There's been a ton of questions rolling in. I've seen that too. But let's keep this one on point for Panda Touch, and we'll set up a separate one for Panda Revo, and hopefully we'll be able to get all your questions answered. Panda Revo, I will give you just a few salient points on it. You're looking at something that's running a 60-watt heater, so it's got a bit more juice than the stock bamboo heater. So that's obviously going to allow you to have a slightly higher flow rate. You're looking at a high flow rate Revo nozzle. So our measurements have kind of indicated you can kind of double your flow rate using that Revo nozzle at similar temperatures, because obviously you've got that CHT splitting tech inside there. And yeah, probably one thing that you need to be aware of, we're going to be entirely fair with this. It isn't running a hardened nozzle. It is running just your standard non-hardened nozzle. So if you buy it stock and you are going to be running abrasives through it, you probably want to pick up one of the high flow hardened nozzles from E3D. I'm not too sure if they're released. I'm pretty sure they announced them at Smurf. They're coming if they aren't already released.
Is there an Obsidian high flow? I don't think it's out yet. They announced that they're going to be doing an Obsidian high flow.
Yes.
But it's definitely not out, I don't think.
All right, then it's very close.
But I did see, actually, I had a friend message me yesterday, former Bamboo Lab employee, actually, who ordered the Panda Revo on my recommendation, and he got a high flow nozzle right out of the box. So I think you guys are shipping them with the 0.
No, it is high flow. Absolutely. It's high flow.
So you guys are shipping it with the high flow, not the brass. It's just that Obsidian is not available yet. In high flow.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yeah. So it's high power, high flow. So you're going to get good flow through that.
Yeah.
It's just you don't want to go and pump carbon fiber through it, because it might not be round by the time you're done.
Right.
All right. So let's see. Why is it $72 on your AliExpress store and not the mentioned $59 price? I am not sure. It should definitely be 59 bucks. Are you maybe looking at shipping being included in that too? But maybe one of our guys on the back end can check that out. But it's 59 bucks, guys. It is 59 bucks. So just check your order.
I see it at 59 bucks and shipping is 46 cents.
All right. So there you go. 59 bucks. All right. Questions, guys. We want to wrap this part up. We got another giveaway. Could you make some easy menu function to swap color mid-print for us without AMS? Could we make an easy menu function to swap color mid-print for you without an AMS? That's a good question. Rowan, if you're watching, take note. Could we make an easy menu function for people to swap color mid-print without an AMS? Let's think about that. And can a printer be connected to multiple Panda Touches? That is a good question. If you are using the latest firmware on a P1P or P1S, the answer is yes. If you are not using the latest firmware, the answer is no. Bamboo actually made a change, which hats off to them. Thank you, Dr. Tal and the guys. They have enabled up to 6 connections to a single Bamboo machine. So yeah, you can connect Bamboo Studio and up to 2 Panda Touches in the latest firmware, and it'll allow it.
Chamber temp does show, guys. Also on the P1S, I see it at least 25 degrees inside my P1S.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Are you sure? The P1S doesn't have a chamber temp sensor, as far as I'm aware.
So where is it getting 25 degrees from?
Are you sure that you have the P1S set as your master? Go to the multi-printer thing and see which is his master.
Wait a second. You're right. My bad. Yeah, I had the X1C set as master.
So,
not available.
however, there's a good reason that there is a little plug on the back of the Panda Touch.
Got it.
Just because
Cool.
the P1S doesn't have a chamber temperature sensor and humidity sensor, doesn't mean that it can't have a chamber temperature sensor and humidity sensor. So
Okay, yeah, sorry.
you don't want
I
to mind,
misspoke.
guys.
I had the wrong one. Okay, you asked me about things I might want to change. It actually might be helpful. You see at the top bar where it says Panda Touch, it would be super helpful if you just added a dash and which printer is currently the master, so people don't make the mistake I made.
Jonathan, thank you for mentioning that. Believe it or not, we did have a series of internal discussions about this, and that was the functionality that I was pushing for. So I believe that we will do just that. It'll probably come in the next firmware release. Rowan, again, if you're watching, the top taskbar, let's get that to indicate which is currently the master.
Yep.
Can we add a chamber temperature sensor to the P1S with the Panda? Remember one thing, guys, when you ask these questions. I've just removed this from the doc, and here is a little R2C port. And R2C, for those who may not be familiar with it, is a communication protocol, a wired communication protocol that you would connect something simple like a temperature humidity sensor to. Of course, you're looking at the Panda Touch in my hand now, and if you did have something plugged in there, we would have a problem because it would have pulled out. So it's very likely that you'll be able to measure the chamber temperature and humidity using a little adapter in a future version of firmware. However, it is going to come with the caveat that if you do want to remove it from the dock, you would have to disconnect that. And you would lose that sensing capability after you disconnect it, and you'd have to replug it in when you put it back on the dock. That's for a wired version. That's not saying that we may not release a wireless version, but that would be the wired version of a chamber temperature humidity sensor. But yeah, it's
I have another
something that
recommendation.
we are considering.
Another recommendation is a lot of people in the chat are saying they'd want to design their own dock. For example, a Gridfinity dock or a honeycomb wall dock, but then I'm looking at it and there's a PCB that people are, I mean, the magnets, no big deal, right? But the PCB with the contacts and everything, maybe instead of selling, or as an option, instead of just selling the replacement dock, you guys sell a dock kit, which comes with the 5 magnets, the screws, so people can design their own docks and the PCB that they need. That way people can make a dock the way they want to make a dock.
Good point. Rowan, if you're watching, a dock kit. Richard, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say the model for the whole dock thing is going to be open source. So
yeah, we're going to open source that model so guys can adapt around it. But yeah, I mean, if they just want to use the PCB and the magnets, yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, I mean, and if it's fully open source, they could also, I mean, you guys can make the PCB as cheap as anyone, but they could also make their own PCB or get it a PCB way or whatever. Like, it doesn't look complicated.
You know, the thing is that the dock itself isn't fixed to the metal mount. So you need to remember that. So when you consider that plastic dock at the back that has the magnets mounted in and the PCB mounted in,
Right.
I mean, it's got 2 screw holes that you could attach to anything that you design around that.
Oh yeah,
And
that's true.
it attaches pretty firm. So it's probably best for guys who want to do their own mods to just use that existing
Just
one
get
instead of hacking around with magnets and things. Like, use the existing piece of plastic and build around it.
Yeah,
it's not a big bulky. It's just exactly the same profile as the screen.
And you could just take off the metal plate.
Yeah, man.
And we actually include extra mounting hardware. So
Okay.
if you want to mount it to something else, the screws are all there. You just take it to whatever you want to mount.
I think your mic's not working, by the way. We hear you from like a far away mic. It's not that
I think your battery's gone dead, Rich. You'll have to go share with Jen. There was one other question that I saw coming through. It was about a USB splitter. So there's a bunch of guys already using the USB port on here, right? And now we're saying that you can connect the Panda Touch to the USB port for a convenient access to power. You don't have to, but you can. And what happens if you're already using that USB port? Well, if you are, don't worry. We're going to get a splitter out, and it'll be coming soon. It'll secure nicely, and you'll be able to break that USB port out. We're shooting for 3 separate ports. Of course, bear in mind, there is a 1.5 amp limit on this thing. We don't want to stress the Bamboo machine, so be reasonable with what you plug in. But yeah, we're looking at doing a splitter for it. Right. I think, guys, we need to wrap this up. If you do have other questions. Oh, and there's someone who's actually saying, hey, does that USB port? I think what we might do is actually just put a current limiter into our splitter to make sure that we don't stress the Bamboo machine. In fact,
Also,
we'll do that. We're not going to stress the Bamboo machine.
Another question that I see has come up a lot is someone's asking if it blocks the glass panel. So it actually, I have one right here. I have an AMS on top, but you can see that I can actually easily lift it off. So it doesn't actually block the top lid.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, guys, if we don't cut off the Q&A session now, we could go on for hours. I'm a hungry man, and I'm sure there's a lot of you guys have to get off to work or to get off lunch and go back to work. So let's get on with the next part of the stream, and that's the second giveaway. And Jane, we're going to ask you to do that. But before, Jane, you do this, massive thanks, Jonathan, for joining us and for your input. It really has been insightful.
My pleasure.
We really do appreciate your genuine, honest responses.
Yeah, you guys make it easy. It's harder when the products aren't good, but with you guys, I never have that problem. So yeah.
It's good to hear that, because we've pumped a ton of effort into this, and we're really glad with how it's turned out.
I can tell. And I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Crack at it.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Okay.
Bye.
So, Jane, tell us what you're going to give away.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, everyone, we are back with another giveaway and more chances to win Panda Touch units and store coupons. And we are going to be giving another 2 viewers Panda Touch units, 3 viewers $20 coupons, and another 6 viewers 15 coupons to our store. And to win the Panda Touch, comment starting now. And here is a question. Listen, what feature you are looking forward to the most in the Panda Touch? Now, we have showed you so many amazing features just now. I'm sure you must be impressed by some of them. So comment it now and show me your hands. Wow, I can see your answers. Guys, you are so great. Wow, controlling multiple units or AMS support or just a plug and play. Wow, I can feel your love to Panda Touch, and I can't wait to send you the prize. So keep sending me your answers. Time is ticking, so don't miss out. Wow, wonderful. Okay, okay. Time's up.
I wish
guys
I
are
wish I could
awesome.
read this fast.
Yeah, it's so many answers. You guys are awesome, and your love for Panda Touch is overwhelming. Now, let's reveal the coupon winners. And the winners are... Okay, let me see. Coupon winners.
Coupon winners. Oh, okay. So, for $20 coupon, we have Tomer SX, we have Mr. Campbell Prince, and we have Jorn Andre. And for $15,
Jandre Groenewald, I'm pretty sure is what you mean.
Andre. Okay, you read that. You read that right. Okay. And for $15 coupon, we have Golsifer, we have Chris Leda, we have Adrian John, we have Adam Bishop, we have Shane Moore, and we also have Jennifer Ludeman. So that's all the coupon winners.
Wow! Congratulations and well done to the active participants. And now the moment we'll be waiting for, the Panda Touch winners. So who we're gonna be the lucky winner? I'm really excited to announce that. And the first winner is Andrew Ellis. Congratulations. And the second winner is Austin Elkins. Wow, congratulations. Can you hear me? Let me see your hands. Are you still here? Okay, congratulations to all winners. And if you are from Facebook, please send us a DM. And if you are from YouTube, we'll attach the link in the comment. So you guys, congratulations again. Thanks to everyone to participating. And stay tuned for more surprises and enjoy our live stream. Okay, let's back to Luke.
Okay, guys, so super well done to all the winners. You guys have stuck with us for a pretty long stream, so you absolutely deserve whatever it is that you have won. And for those who got the Panda Touch, you're going to enjoy it. And we look forward to turning into a really awesome product with you. Now, there is one last thing that we want to share with you. As you may have noticed during the stream, we feel that we have made a really cool product, but we are planning on expanding it and making it a whole lot better. But we want to hear from you and from others in the community to do that. And we're really out here listening to your feedback. And so here's the next giveaway that we're going to be doing. Over the next 7 days, that's that many. Over the next 7 days, we are going to be looking at Facebook groups, at Discord groups, at Twitter, and seeing who is starting conversations about the Panda Touch. And where those conversations are coming up with really cool things that we can do, we're going to go through them and take away as many points as we can. But if you are a conversation starter, then you could be one of 5 people who wins a Panda Touch. And we will announce those names this time next Thursday, 1 week from now. So remember, honest discussions about the Panda Touch. Don't pump it up, say it can do things that it can't do. We want honest discussions about the Panda Touch out there. 5 units this time next week. We're going to make the announcement in our Twitter feeds. We're going to make them in our all of our social media feeds, Instagram, as well as Facebook. So keep an eye out for that. You will see if you have won. And that, guys, wraps up our live stream. Personal thank you and a company thank you. Thank you all for being here with us. There have been so many comments that it's just impossible to keep up with all of them, but I can guarantee you I'm going to walk out of the studio right now. I'm going to go camp on social media, and I'm going to try and respond to a bunch of them and interact with you guys. You are all awesome. Stay awesome. Peace out. Happy printing, and we'll catch you all next time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.